Hello and welcome to Real to Real. We start today with news that there's a renewed effort underway to make physician-assisted suicide legal in the state of Massachusetts. Two companion bills currently before the state legislature's Committee on Public Health. 10 years ago, a ballot initiative which would have legalized physician-assisted suicide was narrowly defeated. CAROLEE McGrath has more on where the legislation stands, as well as the Catholic Church's stance on the issue.
Dr. John Diggs has practiced internal medicine for 35 years, serving Wilbraham, Palmer, and Munson since 2005. Dr. Diggs has been active in the pro-life movement locally for years as well. He says physician-assisted suicide is not compassionate care.
Part of the job of a physician is to alleviate suffering when we can, and when we can't, to find other ways to treat people. The problem with physician-assisted suicide is it confuses the mission of a doctor. The mission of a doctor is to preserve life, and when you start having the ability to eliminate life, it changes your focus, it changes the degree of work you're willing to do to keep someone alive.
Currently, Massachusetts lawmakers are considering legislation that would legalize physician-assisted suicide. The bills, House 2381 and Senate 1384, are called an act relative to end-of-life options. Dr. Diggs and others point out several flaws, including there are no real safeguards. People could feel pressured. Doctors are not required to be present when the pills are taken. And the bills would allow a physician to provide a lethal prescription to a person given less than 6 months to live, but the diagnosis could be wrong.
People who are expected to die don't always die. As a matter of fact, I've frequently made this comment. You hear, oh, this person has 6 months to live, this person has 3 months to live. And I hear people say their doctor told them that. Well, I must have missed that day in medical school, because I never had a class where it said, this is how you predict how long someone's going to live or die. We always get surprised. Some people die sooner, some people die later. But it's part of natural life, and to put the power of ending life in someone's hands I think is irresponsible.
Dr. Diggs also says proper pain management, not assisted suicide, is the way to help those who are suffering. Physician-assisted suicide was narrowly defeated in a ballot initiative 10 years ago, and since then it has come up several times at the State House. The Massachusetts Conference of Catholic Bishops has asked Catholics to call their representatives to voice their opposition.
I think the idea is to call representatives now. We've been told that it does make a difference.
Father Dan Pekalik, pastor of Our Lady of the Blessed Sacrament Parish in Westfield, is also the director of pro-life activities for the diocese. He says Catholics are called to defend life at all stages, from conception to natural death.
Always we believe that God holds life in his hands. It's a great gift to us. And even in suffering, even in the difficult moments of life, it can be so easy to despair at any moment in time. But the reality is that when you look at the whole of that gift, we want to be able to see that gift through to the end, and to trust God that He will walk with us, He will stay with us in those difficult moments.
Father Pekalik says such a measure could lead to a slippery slope, as it has in other countries, such as the Netherlands, that are far more permissive. In the Netherlands, they even allow euthanasia for children.
Again, that slippery slope of saying, we can eliminate all of this. Only the perfectly healthy, perfect lives should live. What a horrible society we would become if that was the measure of who can live and who can't.
10 states, including Vermont and Maine, have legalized physician-assisted suicide. So has the District of Columbia. Dr. Diggs says he worries about people being pressured to make such a decision when they are most vulnerable.
So this kind of pressure definitely affects people. People might even feel that there's not just a right to die, there's almost an obligation to die when you pass out these medicines.
And so people are once again being called on to speak out against the legislation and pray for a change of hearts. Reporting for Real to Real, I'm CAROLEE McGrath.
And you can stay informed on this issue at iobserve.org.